Just want to say, whoever did this fret job, man, he deserves a medal. Deserves a medal. It's unbelievable. Uh,
It was all birthed back in the 90s, and I mean Jim in the 80s for sure too, but
yeah.
the real magic of the rolled edges happened by accident when we were messing around with one of Landau's 59 Strats and it just was so worn out.
Uh-huh.
Jim was like, "Hey, let's try it on this black classic." And so I did it when he was gone and he came in and he goes, "Oh my gosh, you went too far. You ruined the neck." And I
Yeah,
go, "Okay." And so we put it on a guitar and took it to NAMM and everybody loved it. So it
Yeah.
just kind of became our edges.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
played for a corporate gig the other night for about 300 uh, oil people in Australia, Caltech and all of them. And this was a star because we always do Santana stuff and ZZ Top, and those guys, they love that stuff. And
Nice.
I had so many guys crowded around and asking about, you know, uh, this guitar. Only one of them had heard of it, and it's amazing how many guitar players they are out there that do other jobs, like, whatever these guys do in the oil business. So one of them had a lot of different versions of Strats and Tellys, and he said, "Oh yeah, yeah, the Tyler, they have that funny headstock."
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
signature trademark, I think.
Yeah,
I
Oh
love it.
yeah. I mean nowadays people, they like it right out the bat, but I have a heart for people who don't because when I met Jim, I was going to Grove School of Music and he was on Lancashire Boulevard, just up from the baked potato.
uh-huh,
And I walked into his shop and I'm a bass player and he would advertise as the place for bass. So I'm looking at Tobias and Ken Smith and then he had one of Neil Steubenhaus's four strings and I
Yeah.
was like, ugh, who made that? That's terrible. And he goes, that's me.
Uh, Classic.
But yeah, no, it's you can't miss it. I have one of our Chinese versions, the JTG is out on tour with the guy that plays with Shania Twain,
uh-huh,
and there's a great shot of him like far away from the back, but you can't miss the headstock.
uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
it is the logo, really,
yeah, yeah. It is.
it's become so iconic. Everyone that sees it just knows that it's a Tyler. As
Yeah.
opposed to there's so many, Strat headstocks out there that aren't Strats. And you don't
Yeah.
know what it is. But as soon as you see
Yeah.
that headstock, you know it's a Tyler.
If you
Yeah.
know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
if
had
you know, you
your
know.
baked potato thing the other night. I saw on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Justin was great, but yeah, we had a celebration for those wondering what we're talking about is we had a celebration of Jim's life. He passed a year ago, August, but
Uh-huh.
and we might make this a yearly thing. I was talking to Justin Randy, who owns the baked potato.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, Louie knows that. His dad founded it, obviously, Dennis Randy from the Wrecking Crew. But Jim used to go there all the time, way before I even met him, and had his spot. And Justin, when he was a bartender, would always have it ready.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about doing a yearly thing, like every year on Jim's birthday. Like
That's a
it'd be
good
great
idea.
to fly you over and do a night with Louie,
Yes, for
and it's just
sure.
So
Yeah.
it's still just a baked potato night, but just it's Jim's birthday bash every year. So
Yeah.
Justin's into it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And probably Landau would come, and
Yeah,
all these other guys that play the Tylers, you
yeah,
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a good idea.
Dan Huff.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah. It'd be great to get Dan out.
Yeah.
I tried getting him out this year, but he's winding down producing. He wants to be a guitar player again. He
Yeah.
just looks so happy playing guitar.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on with that because he was so busy as a producer, how
Yeah,
he would have time to switch over to being, so busy as just a guitarist.
yeah.
But
No, he didn't put. I don't know if you know this, Louis, but Dan told me this and he's told many people this that he would hire guys like Bukovac and those kind of cats to play on the records he was producing. He goes, Rich, I, not because I couldn't play those records. It's just, man, when I touch a guitar, I just want to rip solos and do parts for myself.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I can't do that if I'm the producer. So,
Yeah.
but so he's gotten away from playing and doing a solo record. You can just see the almost kid-like joy in him playing
Uh-huh.
guitar again. And I don't think he needs to produce any more records probably to pay his bills.
You know,
Yeah.
I kind of went through that. I went through that because there was quite a few years that I was like the producer was like 95% of my life, and guitar playing was 5%.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I realized, well, hell, I'm a guitar player, you know, and I started playing live, and my chops came back because you lose some of that. You even lose your calluses if you don't
Yeah.
play enough.
Yeah.
And so now I try to hang on to that, and I try to make sure that I do a lot of playing more than anything else, because I'm doing enough of this computer stuff anyway, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
producing and making tracks and drum beats and all that. But I take the time to sit down and play some guitar. And I try to do live gigs, even when they don't pay a lot of money. There's just something about it that keeps your chops and your brain connected, because there's
Yeah,
no
for sure.
punch in and overdubs. It's all going out there in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the fun of it.
Oh,
You
for
know,
sure.
and Jay Graydon, you know, last time I saw him, he was telling me that he went to do this gig at the Baked Potato with Greg Matheson and some guys, and his brain wasn't connected with what he was playing because he hadn't played live in so long, you know.
Wow.
So he did. I don't know. Maybe he gave up live playing because of that. He plays a lot in the studio still, but
Yeah.
but that can happen. Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta. It's like anything else. You got to keep it up. You know.
Yeah.
It's not always like riding a bicycle. You know.
No.
That's a simple way of doing it, but it's more like the golf swing. If you don't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you get away from that, you gotta start all over again.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Louie, what was the first moment you saw a James Tyler or heard a James Tyler and went, what's going on here?
I have a friend over here who's a great guitar player. Scott Watman has a studio, and he has a wall full of every guitar, every kind of guitar. And he was over one day, and he said, "Have you heard of James Tyler guitars?" And I said, "What, James Taylor?" He said, "No, James Tyler." That's what everybody always said. I said, "No." He said, "Man," he says, "I've got my eye on one on Reverb, and I'm just waiting for the price to come down so I can afford it." But he hasn't gotten one, but he called me the other day and he said, "Man, I got to come over and check out that guitar." I said, "Anytime."
Nice.
That was the first time. I hadn't heard of Tyler, and it was such a coincidence because shortly after that, Reese contacted me and
Yeah.
was telling me all about this new guitar, and that they were going to start importing them to Australia. And we got together, and that was it. Then my next conversation was with Rich, and we figured out what would be the right one for me, you know.
And how did you choose upon the Tyler Buster over
Well,
CHD?
the Telly is my favorite guitar. I use it more than anything else, and I'm just a front pickup, backup, or in between. No, not much fancy stuff. I have a few Strats that have the 5-way switch and all of that if I need that. But this is just the most comfortable guitar. It's what I played in the clubs all the time. And to me, it's just so versatile.
And what was your first feeling when you picked that guitar up for the first time? What did you feel?
Well, it's hard to describe because there's so much about it that's you know, it's just such a fantastically well-made guitar. I've never had locking tuners. I've never had a telly with a humbucker on it, you know, which is something I always wanted. And
Yeah, we made it happen.
and to just feel the neck and the precision is just unbelievable. Although I might try to talk him out of one of those Strat kinds with all of the switches one of these days.
Yeah.
Well, with all of those LA switches.
Yeah.
LA
I was,
switches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Nashville taking Dan Huff has that 64 Strat that Jim put all the guts in and put a Floyd on back in the day, and I was working on it, and Vince Gill walked in to Joe Glazer's place in Nashville. He's a big repair guy, and I had met him briefly once, so he kind of looked at me. He's like, "Hey man," and I was like, "Hey Vince." And without hesitation, and he was probably 20 feet away, he just pointed and he goes, "Is that one of those guitars with all those LA switches?"
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
That's a
Yeah.
classic story.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right into guitar, you know.
Yeah.
Man, I've seen his room full of guitars. I think I counted, what was it, like 20 tellies in one of the
wow.
shots or something that
Yeah.
he had lined up.
Wow.
Not to
Incredible.
mention all the other stuff.
And what's your thoughts on the burning water finish that we see there on that guitar?
Oh, I love it, and that's you know, that's a great feature. I saw this on some of the. I saw this on their website, and I thought this the most spectacular color of a guitar I've ever seen. I still don't know how you do it. Everybody asks me, how do they do that? And I said, I guess they spray a bunch of coats and they take sandpaper and sand it down through the coats. Is that right? Or is that
Yeah, basically.
close
We don't
enough?
share the exact way, but yeah, that's how it happened. First was I was sanding a guitar down and I was half done. I think I told you this, Louie. I was sanding this turquoise guitar down and I was half done and it was sort of turquoise and silver and wood, where just kind of the pattern I sanded into
Uh-huh.
it. And Landau was coming in and I said to Jim, I said, "This looks like something Mike would like." And he goes, "Well, I'll leave it on your bench. He's coming in tomorrow." And Mike, you know, you've talked to him. He walks in, he goes, "Oh, what is this?"
What's that?
And Jim and him added the other colors and it became Psychedelic Vomit. And funny enough, used that with James Taylor. And then he was in that band Burning Water and he wanted something that looked more like Burning Water. So that's when Jim started working on the process that became that type of finish, you
That's
know,
amazing.
that looked more like water, like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Pretty
definitely
fun.
unique. Yeah,
Yeah.
it stands out in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's really great for us is, you know, we have an occasional, you know, customers that just are more traditional and want a kind of a Strat or a Telly body.
Uh-huh.
And when you get like that finish, it's so Tyler. It's like
Yeah.
it kind of takes that Fender part away.
Yeah.
You're still comfortable playing that Fender comfortableness, but it definitely screams Tyler from a mile away. So
Yeah, yeah,
pretty great.
yeah. It's a trademark almost, you know,
Yeah.
amongst
Yeah.
other trademarks that you have.
Yeah. We're getting copied in Asian countries because we're hugely popular in, like, you know, all over Asia. And
You have some great Asian players too. I've seen
oh my gosh.
playing the guitars.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're doing
Yeah,
a great
it's
job.
pretty crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great.
It's like they're living the 80s session guy thing
Uh-huh.
for the last 10 years there, and we have all those session guys in like Thailand and Philippines or Indonesia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I did
Pretty
some
dang cool.
cruises before COVID, which was really fun. I really got to see the world like I would have never seen it. And most of the musicians that were on board as the backup bands were from the Philippines and Indonesia and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they could read fly specs, man, because
Right.
they had to back up every entertainer that came on board as a guest entertainer.
Yep.
And it ranged everything from classical to comedians with crazy kind of, charts,
Yep.
to 60s music, and really just very good players and so into it,
Yeah.
They love the music. They love what they're doing. And I still keep in touch with them on Facebook,
Yeah.
even though I don't do
Yeah.
cruises anymore,
Yeah.
because I don't like the traveling to and from the ship so much. I had a bunch of crazy experiences, because here I'm traveling with a suitcase and a pedal board and a guitar, and I would have to go sometimes from Australia to San Diego to get on a cruise that was going from San Diego through the Panama Canal and get off at Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and then fly back home. And
Yeah.
it was those trips to and from that I said, no, can't do that anymore. It's just, I'm too old for that,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable here doing what I do, I don't go any further than from here to Brisbane to do gigs, and that's,
Yeah.
and there's plenty of gigs here, that's the thing about
yeah.
Australia. This Gold Coast, it has so many clubs and places, surf clubs, RSL clubs, casinos, that have entertainment all the time, from here to Brisbane,
We're really lucky.
Yeah, the live music scene here, man, is unbelievable. It's not like LA where, you got the baked potato and, I don't know, maybe a few other places, but when I was living there wasn't a lot of live places. Even in Nashville, I found, relatively speaking, what you would expect in Nashville. There wasn't that much live gigs around, A few of them down on 2nd Avenue and Broadway, and a few of them around. But this place here is just, every suburb there's another place with a band or, music. So you can play all as much as you want here. You can take as many gigs as you want, basically.
Yeah.
Hey, Louie, if you were allowed access into the James Tyler factory with the most crazy ideas and they said yes to anything, what would you do to custom spec up the most crazy dream guitar of yours if you could do anything on a guitar?
I'd probably just have them do another cutaway right here.
Why is that?
I had a 52 Telly when I was 12 years old. I had gotten a gig with a country band that had a 5-day-a-week radio show and a Wednesday night TV show, and I was able to get a brand new Telecaster, and that was in 53. Actually, it was probably a 53 Telly. And I guess a couple of years after that, I don't know if I wished I would have gotten a Strat or whatever, but anyway, I took and cut it out myself, the whole thing. Ruined the guitar, I mean, from a resale standpoint. But I was happy with it. I put a Bigsby on it, cut it out up here, and to me that was the guitar I wanted. And I wish I had it today, but I had to trade it for another guitar, because back in those days, you could only afford one guitar at a time. And when I saw Chuck Berry's 350T, the blonde one with the gold hardware, they had one in the music store, so I traded the Telly in for the Gibson, which I played for quite a few years. It was a beautiful guitar too. I wish I had that one as well, but again, we had to trade up to whatever we want. The next thing, the Ventures came out, so I needed a white. I actually got a white Jazzmaster, and doing all the Venture stuff. Yep. It's crazy, and now I have guitars in every closet and every,
nook and cranny. Yeah.
Unbelievable. The oldest one I have, Other than a 41 laps guitar, is the 51 Martin that we played on Summer Breeze. That
Oh wow.
Wow.
that part on Summer Breeze. That's the oldest guitar I have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't
I
get
mean,
rid of guitars anymore. I keep them
to
all.
to to hear you talking about buying a guitar in 1953 when guitar was invented basically in 1951, you've been alive the whole time guitar has been a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've
I
been
mean,
alive since Hitler, 1941. I can
wow.
remember 3 years old. Where we lived in Little Rock there, North Little Rock, uh, seeing all the soldiers going and coming, getting off of the bus and the train, and I was 3 years old.
Wow.
But yeah, I was born in 1941. That's a long time
Wow.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. I'm so
Yeah.
lucky that I'm still here, But I got to experience a lot of good music along the way.
Oh, just a bit.
Yeah.
Because I was back, I was alive back when Benny Goodman was being played on the radio, and Les Paul and Mary Ford were in the 50s,
Yeah.
that was the charts.
I played clarinet because of Benny Goodman.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a drummer because of We're an American Band, and I signed up to play drums, and they said you can't, and so they made me take trumpet, and I hated it. And my dad loved big band, and so I said I'm gonna play clarinet, and I got made fun of mercilessly, whatever it is, because it was a girl's instrument, and I'm like Benny Goodman, and no matter how many times I said Benny Goodman, they weren't having it, but I loved playing clarinet.
Oh yeah. And when I was in school, I got into band class, and I didn't want to play trumpet or any of that stuff, so I was the drummer, and
Hmm.
but I had become a big Gene Krupa fan watching the Benny Goodman story,
So
So
great.
I'm a big drum fan anyway, always have been.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so in school, I was the guy marching along with dun, 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 with the snare drum, And the
Yeah.
good thing about it was, even though I couldn't read notes when I got into the session scene, I could read the rhythms really well, because that's basically
Yeah.
all I
With the
was
drums.
reading on the drum charts was rhythm.
Mhm.
So it
Yep.
came in handy
Yeah.
because Gene Page, who did a lot of the Motown charts, uh, even if it was a chord chart, there was rhythm stuff there, and tied pushes, 8-note pushes into the next bar, dotted sixteenths, and so it came in handy that I recognized that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome. Rich, are you going to NAMM next year?
Yep. We'll be in with Rev again
With Rev again?
officially. Yeah.
Wicked.
Even bigger, even more wall. So
Yeah, awesome.
yeah.
Well, Louie's thinking about maybe coming over. He's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
he's gonna check some dates. So
Yeah.
we'll be in touch. Maybe we can do
Uh-huh.
something with Louie. And
Oh, that'd be great.
Uh-huh.
and Tyler over there. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah. It would be wonderful to do something officially at the show, but I'd love to just buy you dinner and talk
Yeah.
about Star Wars.
Okay. Okay.
By the
Hey.
way, Star Wars, I haven't had a feeling like when I came out of Star Wars when I was a kid. I saw it in a drive-in theater in like '77, and I haven't had that feeling again. That just wonderment until I saw this movie, Godzilla
Godzilla.
-1.
Uh-huh.
So it came out about a year and a couple months ago, and it's not the American sort of, it was incredible. It was right after World War II. Godzilla is a metaphor for the nuclear bomb and Japan surviving after being bombed and rising up to be strong again. And it was, oh my gosh, I walked out of that with a friend and we looked at each other like, what did we just see? And I go, dude, I haven't felt like this since 77.
Uh-huh.
So if you get a chance, you got to check it out. It's
We will.
-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think Spinal Tap opens here tonight. Have you seen that one yet? The new one?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay.
Yeah, they did it perfect because they could have easily almost been a caricature, even though it is a caricature. They could have gone too far. They did
Uh-huh.
it just
right.
enough. It was like, oh, man, so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. We're going to go see that as soon as we can.
Yeah, my buddy CJ plays keyboards in that.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, CJ, he's a good friend. I
Yeah.
love CJ.
He's
Yeah,
a legend.
Yeah.
yeah. I wonder if Louie knows CJ Vanston.
I don't think so.
Okay. He's played with a bunch of people. He's friends with Lukather and, the whole crew. I mean, he's
Yeah.
played on a bunch of records and
Yeah.
kind of one of those bubbling under guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys, I had kind of left the scene when they came in,
Yeah.
as far as the session scene. And when I started producing Seals and Crofts, I had to quit doing sessions because it was so time consuming, working with them. I
Yeah.
tried to do both for a while, and I realized my production was suffering because of,
Yeah.
trying to do too much.
Well, and I'm a mix engineer, I could be a pro mix engineer in another life. I've done a lot of it.
Uh-huh.
And been around production and also playing on records. It's a very different mindset. And when you're producing a record, it's almost like you're sculpting something. It's like you pause to, now I'm gonna make brownies, and now I'm gonna come back and try and sculpt. It's like two different things. And
Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah. And with them, it was so much pre-production in the writing and song crafting and the whole bit, figuring out who to play on it and where to record and what engineer and so much, to coordinate. But I enjoyed that. It's something I wanted to do. I had wanted to do that for a long time, and I never really took that step. But there was a couple of guys from Texas that came out and was shopping their cassette, and they said, we're going to go back to Texas because evidently nobody likes us. And I said, well, I'm working with Herb Alpert tomorrow at A&M Records, and why don't I give him your cassette? So I gave it to Herb. We were recording Lonnie, Herb's wife. I gave him the cassette. It was England Dan and John Ford Coley. And he took it home, and the next day I said, did you get a chance to listen to the tape? And he said, yeah. He says, I like it. I said, what does that mean? He says, I want to sign them and I want you to produce them. I mean, that's how quickly that happened. Went from session player to producer overnight, really.
Yeah.
Whereas the way it's such a crazy business, because if I'd taken that tape around and knocking on doors, probably everybody would have said no, but it just so happened that the right person heard it. And,
So
I mean, that's like
together.
Louie, you've got a
like
new. Sorry, Rich, go.
oh, I was gonna say that's like Huff getting into production was an accident. He was playing guitar for Mutt Lange because he was a rock guy, and Mutt was doing Shania Twain, and he's like, Dan, I want you to play on this. And then he looked at him, he goes, Dan, you approach your guitar stuff like a producer. You should produce records.
Yeah.
Everything leads to something, I tell young kids all the time, whatever's in front of you, do it with all your might and do it the best you can, and always be helpful, be on time, because everything leads to the next thing,
That's it. Yeah. Especially in this business.
So Louie, you've got a new album coming out, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a variety of stuff, from a kind of light jazz to some funky stuff. It's fun. I'm calling it Mango Tango.
Mango Tango.
Yeah.
Mango Tango.
Because I've got a kind of mango-ish tune going there, crazy tune that I called the Mango Tango.
Yeah, wicked.
But
So when are you releasing that?
I don't have release date. I'm actually still working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
So that'll have a lot of Tyler on it, I presume.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear it.
Can you
So-
tap? I can't.
Ah, hang on.
We got something on the screen here that's covering
Running out
up
of time.
Rich.
Running out of time.
Ah. There's never enough time.
Never enough time, man. It's great talking with.
Yeah.
With
We
you
can hit
guys.
another one if Rich has got time. It's only 12 o'clock. We're still pretty early.
Yeah. If you want to go again, Rich, and get more
Yeah.
content. Yeah.
Sure.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, hang on. We'll,
What time is it?
I'll
Where
use
you?
the, I'll
what-
use the restroom and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay, cool.
Stop.